Hello my library loves, and welcome back to our Messy Crafty Fun. This week, week 4, we are going to read a book that I just think is very special and I wanted to share it with you. It is called The World Needs Who You Were Made to Be. It's by Joanna Gaines, and we want to thank Tommy Nelson Inc. for allowing us to share this story with you. Beautiful story, beautiful message, and I just wanted to share it. After we read this story, we are going to get messy. I know some of you have not been happy with the lack of mess happening in our crafts the last couple of weeks. This week, be prepared to get glue or Mod Podge all over your hands, maybe some paint, maybe some markers. It really depends on what you decide to do at home with your craft. What is that craft? That craft would be trying to make sun catchers out of yarn. Will it work? Will it not work? I have no idea. We'll find out together. If you haven't done so already, you can stop by and grab one of our week 4 bags. Inside, you can find some of the supplies we need for our messy craft this week. So let's start with the story, and then I will get started with the craft.
The World Needs Who You Were Made to Be by Joanna Gaines. Inside, you'll see this note from the author. It reads, I hope that you know and love who you are, for all of the beautiful and unique and magical gifts you have to offer the world. May you always look at life with your eyes wide open, be quick to learn from others and see and celebrate the differences in all of humanity. Be kind to others and to yourself. And may you always believe that the world needs who you were made to be. Love, Joanna. Now I hope you enjoy this story read by the author's daughter.
Today is the day for the ride of our lives when a confetti of color will fill up the sky. Plenty of pink and a bounty of blue and orange, green, and yellow too. We all play a part, both me and you, as we build our very own hot air balloons. We'll gather supplies and make them our own and prepare to take flight into the great unknown. It doesn't take us long to see that we all work so very differently. Some of us work alone, and some of us work side by side. Some of us are quiet and like to think things through, and others prefer to chit-chat about all we have to do. Some of us think through every possibility before we jump in. And some of us know what we like before we even begin. Sometimes we're scientific and rely on our smarts. Sometimes we're creative and lean into the arts. Some of us are resourceful. We like to work with whatever's on hand. And some of us are extravagant. We like to go big whenever we can. Some of us are teachers and share what we know, but all of us are learners. Together is how we grow. So by now you can probably see how we all work so very differently. We've done our very best, and now it's time to fly. See how beautiful it can be when our differences share the same sky? We may not look or work or think the same, but we all have an important part to play. All of us can be kind, compassionate, and gracious. All of us can be helpful, considerate, and courageous. So remember who you are. This is your life to live. Don't ever hold back. You have so much to give. You're one of a kind, and it's so clear to see. The world needs who you were made to be.
All right, I'm just going to say one more time how much I love that story. Okay, so I've got Mod Podge, my wax paper, which I've taped down, and I have my string, and I am ready to get started. Now, it's your choice. If you want to, you can use a stencil of some type. I have a doily here that I'm going to actually slide under and use as a template for my heart sun catcher that I'm going to make. Let's see if I can do this without ripping the tape. Nope. Okay, so I'm going to put it under here, and then I'm going to tape it down again. Okay, all fixed. So I'm going to start by putting string all around the outside of the heart. Now, you can use the string that came with your kit from the library. If you have your own string, feel free to use that. It's really going to be your choice. We have lots of different things we can try with this. So I'm going to start with the white string. The white string we can use a Sharpie on to color after the first coat dries. Can also obviously color the glue or Mod Podge. So it's a whole bunch of things we can try and we will give them a go. But to start, I'm going to leave my string long and I'm going to, I don't know, right now my plan is to leave the string long, go around the outside of it, and then maybe cut little tiny pieces so that it kind of looks like confetti. Okay, so I am starting by putting a little bit of Mod Podge all the way around the outside, just so that string has something to stick to. Just gonna make sure I have a nice thin coat of the Mod Podge on here. And what I started to say before but didn't finish is that you can use a template like I have with the heart doily, or you can just make your own design right there on the wax paper. Okay, also mentioned earlier, I said I think I'm going to kind of cut a longer piece for the outside of my heart. As you can see here, I am a little bit short on the outside of my heart, so not a big deal. I'm going to take a piece of string, kind of measure it out a little bit. Stick it down, cut it. And all fixed. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of turn my string into confetti, like these little pieces here. And I'm just going to kind of place them down in the Mod Podge. Maybe let them fall at random. So I'm literally just taking my string and cutting tiny pieces over and over again. Once you have all your little pieces of confetti string cut, you're just going to kind of move them around how you want them inside your heart. If you have any that are not sticking or areas that ended up slightly drier, add a little bit more Mod Podge. Just be careful because they are not stuck at this point. So you just kind of got to like pat it down. If you tried to actually paint the Mod Podge on there, it would pull the yarn right back up and off. See, up and off. My friends that like to get messy, go ahead and get your fingers in there. You want to make sure you push down that yarn. Make sure it's really sticking. So we're going to let this dry. And once it's completely dry, then we are going to come back in with a Sharpie and kind of color it with the Sharpie, for lack of better words. Once your Mod Podge has dried, see it's not sticky, you can go through and you can use a Sharpie to basically color the string. Use your choice of colors, have fun with it, and enjoy. Once you finish up coloring, you are going to, well, have your Mod Podge ready, because the Mod Podge is going to go on the top of this. But before you do that, take some water and give it a quick spritz to help some of the color start to bleed into the white string. Next, you're going to take your Mod Podge. As you can see, I'm running a little low. You're going to take your Mod Podge and you are going to spread it along the top. Do your best to get a nice even coat here. I know the yarn pokes up in different spots. I mean, even in the sense that you don't have a ton of glue in one spot and not so much glue in the other spots. Once you have all your glue down, all evened out, you just have a little spot here along the side that could use a little more glue. Put some in there. Then I'm going to put this to the side and I'm going to leave it to dry. My best guess is probably at least 24 hours. In the meantime, as I mentioned, we are going to try lots of different techniques. So right now we are going to do this technique, except instead of Mod Podge, we are going to try to do it with glue. For our glue Mod Podge to dry, we are going to try to change the color of our string using acrylic paint and water. So we are going to soak our string in water for about 20 minutes. After about 20 minutes, we are going to take the string out. Ignore my dogs going crazy in the background there. But we're going to bring the string out a little bit. We want it to still be wet, but not dripping wet. Like so. Put that off to the side and get rid of the water. Now I'm going to take a piece of plastic just to minimize how much mess I get in this pie tin from the acrylic paint. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to just kind of lay it across, and then I'm going to take another piece and go in the opposite direction. Perfect. And then we are just going to lay our string inside of it. It's your choice how you lay it in there. I'm going to kind of go around the outside and then, I don't know, make a wiggly line like this. And then we are going to take our acrylic paint and we are going to pour some hot water into the acrylic paint. Not a lot. Mix it up. And you're going to do that with whatever colors you have picked for this. Also remember that we have no idea if this is actually going to work or not. Okay, get it all mixed. All right, once you are all mixed and ready to go, you are going to take your colors and you are going to decide what pattern you're looking for. And you are going to dump some, if not all, of your watered down paint onto the string. I'm going to use my paintbrush here, but you know what? Look at this. For those of you that have been looking for really messy hands, you can go ahead and stick your hands in there and use your hands to mix it. Make sure it's all coated, and I'm going to do the same exact thing with the other two colors that I have. Movie magic. So here we have it. I am hopeful that this works out and they all kind of stay separate, but we'll see. So I'm going to let this soak in for about 20 or so minutes. Then I'm going to kind of like wring it out and hang it to dry. And 24 hours later, this is what I have. My colors did kind of mush together. You can see here that there's slight differences, but not much. But if you've tried to color your string this way, I hope it works, and I hope it works in your sun catcher. All right, so one last idea. We are going to start with some glue just so we can keep our string in place. And I'm going to go around the outside of this with my string. After I've got that in place, I think I'm going to make just kind of like a few designs with the string, maybe a couple of circles, a couple of swirls. And then we're going to try one last technique. So here we have it, and I actually have here some of the leftover glue mixture from when we did window clings back in February. And I just thought, hey, why not? Let's give this a go. We can try to see what that will look like. So if you don't remember, that was a drop of Dawn dish soap, food coloring, and clear glue. So I'm going to take that mixture and I'm just going to, I don't know, kind of squeeze it out. No real pattern or anything. I'm thinking that because it was like super easy to work with, I will put all three colors on and then I will kind of swirl them together, maybe with like a toothpick or something. And we will see how this turns out. This is kind of a cool effect because in a way, well, it will change the color of the string, but it changes the color of the background too, if it works. I might have put just like a little too much of this mixture in here. I'm going to take a little bit more string and kind of go around the outside of this a couple more times. And then I'm going to leave it to dry, just like everything else, which is still drying. Hello, my library loves. I am coming to you live from my backyard where I am still waiting for our sun catchers to dry. See here, I've got them now out in the sun. It has been rainy for quite some time, but the sun is out, the wind is blowing, and we are hoping that they plan on drying soon. That one is very wet. That's the one we did with the glue mixture we used for our window clings. However, if that works out, it is going to be beautiful. This is one that I worked on. This is a Mod Podge with colored string. Again, you can see here, it just doesn't want to dry. None of it wants to dry. This is the one we were doing on camera, the Sharpie one. And this is the one McKinnon was working on with regular glue. And we're hoping to compare them all, see which one works out best, if any of them do. However, we can't do that until it dries. So we are going to put a pause on ending this video for right now. We'll call this part 1, and I will be back with part 2, finishing up our craft, hopefully tomorrow when our stuff is dry. In the meantime, you guys can get started because I'm sure you are going to be waiting for your sun catchers to dry.